now after we fuck it up, we're good.
We're professional.
Okay. So,
Oh my God. How's it been?
well, we cocked it up again, but
Yes.
it only took us.
Consistency.
It only took us like a little bit. Thank Mike Garcia for saying it looks good. No,
Oh,
he
thanks,
actually he
Mike.
muted
How's
me.
it going,
He
Mike?
muted me. He muted me again, but I muted Cyrus last one time. Or
Nobody wants
it's
to
all
hear
good.
Picky's opinion anyway. I just brought him on here to get more viewers.
They just brought me on here for my good looks. Oh wait a minute, that's not good looks. That's not good looks at all.
Okay, so we've had a week, folks, haven't we? Holy crap!
Week of disappointments. Yes.
Oh God, I kept like just thinking we should keep quoting Princess Bride. Get used to disappointment.
It's funny as Cyrus said that to somebody on Twitter. Said, "Well, get used to disappointment." I was like,
Yeah.
everybody's
It's just a bad thing, man. And what the hell was up with Digital Foundries? Let's go and start with Digital Foundries saying it looked better than Doom Eternal. What? So,
Digital. I'm about to make my own video about Digital Foundries. I think is now in the pocket of Microsoft. I mean, they were flown out like other people. They got to play. I mean, it was cool. You need to go back when they were flown out there to play with the mock-up of the Series X. I'm going to give Microsoft credit. It looks like a cool piece of device when you put it together and how it all snaps together. It does. But then they come out and make this video like 30 minutes yesterday or so after mine, after they've done all the reactions. And well, it was because of direct lighting. It's more taxing on the system. Then why didn't they use ray tracing? Oh, it's in the shadow. You can't see the detail. If the tech, you had a good point. Your video was good. If the textures weren't loading in really slow, I could see that.
yeah.
But Mr. Putty Face, I call him Putty Face, the dude. First
Dude,
off,
that's become such a meme. Oh my God, it took like 5 minutes for people to crop that. That was amazing.
but I mean, I paused it on my video. First thing, if Digital Foundries is not a bunch of ass kissers, guess what? He was in direct light and he looked like Play-Doh. And then later on, I said the same thing as you. He had texture. He had the scar or the black marks on his face.
Yeah.
Before he looked just like Putty.
Yeah, it came in. It took it a few minutes, and you had to look right around that red eye of his to really see him start to come in, because that's where they put all the detail work. And I'm like, it's not there. It's not there. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it goes. It was the same thing with the grass and everything else.
The straps you pointed out, like I saw it again when I was doing my video, being this close to my PC monitor. I went, hey, Nick's right. And all of a sudden, there with the textures of the straps, they weren't before. They were mud. It were gray mud.
Yeah. And the tire marks, you never saw tire marks when they launched off that jump and landed. There was nothing. Impact crater from when they hit, and there were no marks. There was a little bit of mud splash, but there was nothing left behind, nothing like that. It was something, dude. I don't really know what to think of it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of just, I don't know.
How can you run on a PC? And then, yes, I've said this. PC is better than console. You had a compatible PC. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the chat. How could you have a comparable PC which has to have at least 16 gigs of memory, at least 12 teraflops? If they weren't running it on an SSD, they were idiots, and it still ran like ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. And here's what I think's going on. And I mentioned it a little, I hinted on it a little bit in my own video, is I think that they have most of the development on this built around their new SDK and their new hardware. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is they're putting a lot of this, they're doing what was used to be called a just-in-time process, right? Where things would be rendered just in the nick of time so that the user wouldn't be able to tell what happened, right? Yeah. They wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And I've actually still got this labeled as Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. I did that last week. Would you do the copy paste?
Let's save that. No, we're not playing Hyrule Wars. Sorry, guys. Anybody popped in for Hyrule Wars, I apologize. My bad.
It's all Nick's fault. Fuck it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm but Cyrus here yet? I'm going to blame Cyrus if he's not here.
He should be here, bastard. He's probably busy, but yeah, go ahead. You have some good points about your SDK.
If they built this into the SDK, like like I think they have, right? Where everything that's being built for the Series X is just built that way. Um, a lot of what they're doing is going to go through that kind of processing like it's expecting to be running on a Series X blade using its memory and its hardware architecture and the software. Um,
Hey, buddy, how you
Love you,
doing?
Cyrus.
He's there. Well, hey, how you doing? Appreciate Cyrus for actually joining and watching a couple of older assholes just talk about video games.
And if it's running that way and it's not running on that blade, like they're not delivering it through the cloud, right? I don't think it can do the full processing, so it's probably slowing crap down, which means it's not been optimized for PC yet, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to run it off a PC to show you the demo because they don't have it running on the actual device yet.
PlayStation 5,
and they're not bringing it down through the cloud. So it looks all janky. Either that or they've had no time to optimize it because Microsoft needs a name this generation. And the only reason they want it, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, they don't want to be in consoles. They want to be an ecosystem. What they want is they want people being in that platform because what they're going to do is they're sitting on the fucking trigger of like World War III, man. They're going nuclear this next generation because they're going to freaking put that out on Android. They're going to put it out on iOS. There was talk that they scuttlebutted putting it out on PlayStation and Switch.
They may still try to put it on Nintendo because that's not like their direct competitor.
Yeah. So they were going to...
Yes, we do our technical stuff to live up to Game Ramblings. We live up to Game Ramblings level of technical shit because me and Cyrus can cock it up better than anybody. Oh Lord. Appreciate everybody being patient with our stupidity.
Oh God, thanks guys. Eventually I'll get good at these, but I don't set enough of these up. That's my excuse today. I'm sticking with it. So
going back to one thing, and I read about it, and also a lot of the fanboys started going, "Oh my God!" I watched the Velocity Architecture teaser trailer, and I read about it. Velocity Architecture sounds like a little bit of smoke and mirrors, a little bit. It's great if you use it. Because, at the end of it, they said up to 2.5 times SSD and memory performance. And even on that whole thing, that is have an average depending on content. And I'm like, what? 2.5 times what? And you have these fanboys going out here and taking 2.5 times the compressed read rate of the Microsoft SSD. See, it's faster than the Sony's. Maybe it is. But I read about it's called BC Pack. It's way above my intelligence because I'm not a programmer. But you have to fuck around and recompile and package and optimize your textures. And then Velocity Architecture in that Series X will accelerate the reads, and also, which is the good thing, I'm really patting Microsoft on the back. They're wanting to lower the install sizes.
Yes.
But here's the thing about it. Your big Call of Duties, Battlefields, Battlefront, there's going to be a new Battlefront game come out. Your Assassin's Creeds. All these companies, they're not going to do custom shit on every console. They're going to program on their PC. They're going to put it on the PlayStation and the Xbox, and they're not going to custom anything for that much. And if you need custom coding, unless Microsoft pays them, they're going to say, we don't have the time to redo our textures for your Velocity Architecture.
Well, and then they're going to run into the same problem that we saw today.
Or they're just going to they're going to make it work. Or they're going to make it work. It's going to work differently. I'm going to say this, and I sound like a Sony fanboy. You're probably getting a PS5. I'm actually waiting. I'm actually looked at myself. I thought they was going to release the price that there was that rumor, and all they did is put up pre-buy pages on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I thought to myself, I don't even think I would hit the button to pre-buy for free on Amazon. I have no need for one, but I'll look at the text.
I think I'll pre-buy, man. I'm excited
and that's
to
great.
Play stuff like Ratchet and Clank and all that. And and I'm really excited to play that. But honestly, and I'm gonna side with the Xbox for this because they're doing something. They're doing sneaky shit right now. And if they get this freaking Xbox Cloud shit to work, dude, they're gonna fucking start killing it in about 2 or 3
Retro bro,
years.
Thanks for coming.
Hey Retro, thanks for showing up, man.
Yeah, man, I think I'm going to be talking to Retro Bro tomorrow night, so we're going to be bitching about some more stuff. But a lot of people I've seen I mean, are saying, yeah, they'll go for this, but I did my whole, maybe boring to some people, Excel breakdown, but there was only like 7 or so games that only ran on the Series X, and I don't understand why I caught them lying on their presentation.
Dude, some of their games, man. Have you actually gone through the list of games and stuff that came out? Like, have you like looked at any of them up? Because I did some of these, man. And I looked up Stalker 2 because it was the one that confused me the most. I'm like, what is this? What happened with Stalker 1? Guess when Stalker 1 came out?
When
2009.
is this like they're revitalizing this old IP so they could get some type of game out there or something?
Yeah, they brought that out. That came out in 2009. Basically, the new one's been on like dev hell. It's going to be running on Unreal Engine 4, which means
So it's going to look fine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is all that new lighting and everything like that that's on Unreal Engine 5 that's being built for these next gen consoles, they're not using it.
Well, that won't come out to 2021. That is, their engine's not done yet. So if they wanted to use something, still Unreal Engine 4 could put out some good shit.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to look
If you
bad.
had
I'm just
power.
saying it's not going to
No.
be able to take full advantage of the system is the thing. More than likely.
See, Cyrus says a lot of people are saying that Microsoft just basically lets us know that they don't care about their hardware at all. It's all about Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. That's literally all they care about. And yeah, everything today is available on Game Pass. Cyrus is the type of person, he's a consumer that's like a lot of other ones. He don't care about Game Pass. If you do, I think you got Game Pass, don't you?
I've got the $10 version of Game Pass. I don't use my Xbox enough, but it does. If you look at the number of games on it, Game Pass is actually worth the money.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Game Pass will, if they really make this take off, it will eliminate things like the need for demos because you'll get to play this stuff day one for a little while. Now, how long it stays out there, I don't know, right? And it's already been proven that it ups sales of games with them being on Game Pass. So it pops up, people play it for a while, they like it, and then they go out and straight up buy it, whether they buy a physical copy or digital copy. And I agree. Why put out a new console? I don't understand.
As long as the console could output, what is it, HDMI 2.0 or but greater that lets you do 4K 60 and greater.
Yeah.
Let it go. I can call Comcast right now. I know some people said you just have fiber. Anyway, next where list all my problems. My local little fiber company was a piece of shit. I constantly had little stutters in them. I went back to Comcast. It's not bad. It's fine. I could pay $30 more a month, which is still not bad because I own my equipment. You could go and knock off a lot of data caps, not everywhere. If you truly wanted to do this, and that's all Microsoft wanted to be is an online, then just put a box out there that streams the games.
Well, and here's the only reason I can think of. It's the only compelling argument I can think of that they want a box. They want a piece of hardware that's totally latched into their ecosystem and under their control in your living room. They want an Apple TV in your living room.
And I've been wanting to make a video about this. Do you know? I mean, I think you've heard of it. Did you know that Apple is switching completely to ARM-based A5 chips in their Macs this year?
No. I had heard they were moving away from Intel.
Oh, they've already announced it. They're done with Intel. They are truly cutting the cord. And there's already leaks I saw of a Mac Mini testing thing. It basically outperforms Intel chips. And so what's keeping Apple from putting a console out? And everybody's like, oh, ha, 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 that's funny. Microsoft's not competing. Apple has already Apple Arcade. All they have to do is expand it to, say, $10 a month for Apple Arcade and put a console out there.
Yeah. And Ryan made another good point of saying that I don't care about supporting them selling me the console. I mean, if they don't care about supporting the console, then why should I be buying it?
Yeah. Cyrus says if they do end up putting out Lockhart, then that's the death knell for Series X. Literally, nobody will buy the more expensive box. That means all the spec talk's bullshit. I mean, look at this. You're going to have to ask the developer. I'm going to look at you. You, Nick, you're a developer. I want you to make it work on Series X, Lockhart, and the boat anchor VCR Xbox One. And go.
You know what my answer to that would be?
Fuck off.
No. Xbox Cloud. We'll just make it all cloud-based. Because then it's going to run on the Series S, and later on they're moving them to the Series X blades. So everything will run off the X blades. Everything will just stream to the weaker consoles over the cloud that are capable of being able to do that, and you'll have a similar experience that way. And I wonder if that's how they're going to do it on PC. They're going to optimize for Series X, so it's optimized, and then they're just going to cloud base most of that game down to your computer.
I mean, did you I saw this. I was saying this in my video. This is the first time Halo is going to release on the PC with the console. The first game.
Yeah.
And it ran like ass. The pop in, there's pop in that over on the mountains. There was pop in for like the fog. It was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right, Retro. The Halo shows us that they don't really know how to optimize it yet, or they're not actually doing it through the cloud, and they were trying to run it natively on the PC, and it failed miserably.
Oh yeah, and Cyrus has got a 1X. He bought one. I mean, he wanted one. You will not get any enhancements. You will have to settle for what same game as regular Xbox One. Enhancements will be reserved for next gen. Exactly. All this Xbox One X enhanced. It's no longer a thing. Now it's optimized for Series X. Yeah. His system will take Halo Infinite.
Halo Pop Infinite was amazing. By the
Halo
way,
Pop
I love that. I love that thumbnail. That was great.
his system will run Halo Infinite really well, but it won't be optimized, and he won't get an optimization. He may get a 4K version, but after a while, I guarantee you, they're not even going to give you special series Xbox One X versions. So it's like, why even keep the damn thing? I am seriously looking at going in my little closet here, pulling out my 360. My daughter sits around and likes to play Left 4 Dead and some of those old ones, and I have a few other ones. I thought about turning it on, grabbing some old controllers, get some battery packs, make sure it works. I don't have it. Actually, didn't have Wi-Fi. I can run a Cat 5 cable over to it, and just use my 3. I thought about getting rid of my 1. My 1 does nothing. It collects dust and it plays 360 games.
Yeah,
that's fucking sad.
Mike's bringing up some interesting points. Some of the stuff that I was trying to understand that while you were talking.
Sorry,
saying so. Microsoft's got a platform independent executable called UWP, Universal Windows Program. It runs on Windows 10 and MS phones and Xbox. A BVF box means UWP games run better and could lock it down to that like MS phone. So I don't know that I'm fully understanding what you're driving at there, Mike. It's interesting, but I don't know if I'm quite understanding what you're saying. Keep in mind, I haven't programmed in a long time, so I'm a little slow.
Yeah, but also, Retro Bro said that 1X, he also has 1X, are getting boned for supporting their high-end console.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they bought their high-end console this generation, and then it's basically being discontinued, and it's not going to be as well supported moving forward. You would have thought they would have discontinued like the old Xbox versions and just kept the X. And Cyrus made that point too in one of his conversations. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, I know it's a little bit more powerful, a little bit more expensive, but you could say, here's the 1X. It's $299. It's 6 teraflops. It's got 12 gigs of RAM. It's going to play Xbox really well. Really well. And then, no, we want 12 teraflops and 2 teraflops. You want 1/6 the power. I know that's just a raw number, but that's a lot of fucking difference, even for raw numbers like teraflops. Dear God, half the memory.
Well, here's the part that's been killing me the most is they've got all these people basically going, okay, well, why are you judging it by the graphics? Games aren't by the graphics. I play Halo 1 and its graphics are terrible. I play Halo 1. I play Halo 2. Those games are great. I mean, you can tell everything looks kind of like flat and boring, and and everything's kind of small and boxed in because that's the limitations they had to work with. I don't get me wrong. Yeah. I love those games. The visual update to those is nice, but it's not amazing. I mean, it looks better than it did originally. Don't get me wrong. But Microsoft has been touting graphics from day one. They've been touting faster processing, faster load time, lower installs, better graphics. We've got all the power. You guys need to buy this console because it's the most powerful console out there.
Yes, and it says right there, the most powerful console ever.
Yeah, if you guys don't want us to judge it by this, then just fucking do what Nintendo does and just make your box and don't tout the hardware and just make really good games.
Yeah, if you're going to pretty much whip your dick out and say, look, we got a 10-inch dick out here. You don't care about that. You just want this. I mean, I know it's just like, what the fuck? You tout high-end velocity architecture, you tout 10, 12 teraflops, you tout 16 gigs of memory, you tout all this cooling, you bring digital foundries and all these obviously Microsoft ass kissers out there to put together and show this thing off. And then you get that guy with the big beard who did the architecture actually get caught in one of his interviews saying teraflops doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well,
What?
after a point, it doesn't. Right now in this generation, after
Right,
a point,
but basically he just said he was making fun of variable clocks are hard to program for.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
a PC.
PCs.
PCs, yeah, they're kicking. They've been variable clocks forever, and they're the superior graphics pro.
Yeah.
Basically, they're poking. They're doing this. They're trying to poke at Sony every time, and it's like, you know what? The last thing I saw of Sony was they came out, showed a GTA 5 thing, and then I paused it and I read it twice in my video at least. Everything you capture, you see, it's been captured on the PlayStation 5.
I made a mistake of typing. My bad. Sorry, guys. I made a mistake of typing. You're probably going to see the screen blip out and then blip back in. God damn it. I was trying to say hi to Born because you were talking and I didn't want to fuck things up. I'm just not gonna type. I'm just gonna read and then speak.
But I mean, they sit there and sit there. Sony is pretty much Sony has been doing this to Microsoft by doing hardly nothing.
Yeah.
Epic has came out and said their demo was that the SSD was so fucking fast they had to recode it. They said it and retracted it because it pissed people off. They kind of said, yeah, it could run. That demo couldn't run on the Series X. Why? There's a lot of reasons, and I'll get to. And then you have that last thing from Sony. They came out and said everything you see is captured off a PlayStation 5. And then just play games.
Yeah, and
they
Cyrus makes a good point that they're going to basically target the lowest.
Yes. If you take the high end thing, if you take the high end fucking one, I think the VCR will quickly be he says, I bet you the Lockhart will be the de facto one.
I swear it will be, man, because it's gonna. Here's the thing, right? Unless you're buying into Game Pass, which honestly, with the price of games rising and the development costs getting higher, I think they're going to be able to fund more games if you're doing that because, well, it does a couple of things, right? It increases visibility for developers that you may not normally check out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So new AAA IPs get born, right? And get their legs off the ground because people are going to go with their old standards because you're paying $70, $80, $90 a game and you're only going to buy the one game. Are you going to go with like Halo that you're going to go with like, Fighter-Man 2021 or whatever, right? It might be the most awesome game ever with the dumbest name ever, but you're not going to give it a chance. You're going to go with the one because you're spending $90 on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this allows a lot more people to get their games in the market and get people to be able to try them. On top of that, it basically allows you to try the new game to see if you like it before you actually purchase it and things like that. So that's why they kind of want to do a lot of this, I feel like.
It's just they are, Phil Spencer came out and he said, and I basically got so pissed off at that. He's bitching that you shouldn't have to buy a console to play these games. We want everybody to play them. No, Phil. I picked up my cartridges. You didn't see Super Mario World come out on the NES. They built you build games to sell a console. Still remember you saying, "Holy shit, dude! I got to buy a fucking Xbox now. I want to play Halo." It sold consoles. Sold consoles.
Dude, I was not into first-person shooters at all. I gotten so burnt out on them after Doom 2, and then I saw Halo and I went, "Oh shit, I got to play that." I've got to play that. And I went out and I pre-ordered. I instantly pre-ordered. And I didn't regret it. I never regretted that I never regretted the Xbox. Now, in retrospect, while I didn't mind the Duke when I initially had it in my hand, after I got the Japanese one, I went, why did I ever play with this other controller?
The Duke was horrible.
Oh my God, it's so big.
But yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I sat there and we was at McKay's today just looking around. And interesting that we ended up buying 10 seasons of South Park for dirt cheap because they went from Hulu to HBO, and we're sitting there all like, I want to watch South Park. God damn it, they're not free, whatever. And I went over there to their case, and they had a version of Halo. I about took my phone out, took a picture of it, and told it, "This used to be this was when Halo was fun." You could buy the
Yeah.
original Xbox version of it, And the other problem with Halo Infinite is this going to be a 10-year plan. There's no sequels. They're just going to add on and add on and add on to it. And that's fucked up. That's what they tried to do with Destiny, and it didn't work right.
Yeah, and Retro's right. On the original Xbox, they had original IPs that they brought out. They did the same thing with the 360. They don't want to do that with the Series X.
Yes, the 360.
And here's the thing that I'm wondering about what they mean by not exclusive to the Series X. Do they mean it's only going to be on PC and Xbox? If so, that's the same ecosystem. I don't know if they're trying to just not get tripped up in phrasing, and they are going to have exclusives. It's just going to be that you're going to be able to get them on PC as well because of their new delivery mechanism, right?
Well, if you looked at if you looked at my Excel, basically there's some that are on Series X and PC, but if you're a console gamer, it's a Series X exclusive. It's only going to it's a system seller. It's just like there's a few games that's coming to PS5 that are PC games too. Project Athea, I think, is coming to PC, and a couple other ones like that. But I don't have a problem with games being on PC as well. Of course, it don't make any sense, but you're right. For them, it's a little different because they own Windows. They own the ecosystem it runs on. It's
basically the same ecosystem. So I mean, I don't know that there's really a distinction. And Retro's right again. The 360, in my opinion too, was the absolute best console that Microsoft's ever brought us.
Yes,
and honestly, I thought it was better than the PS3.
And PS3 did not. It was not that great of a console to me, and it's only a personal opinion. Nick, myself, our other two buddies, another buddy we used to run around here before he passed away. All five of us played the shit out of that game. That game system. I was such a fanboy going into 2013. I was like, come on, Microsoft, let's do it. And I sat there and watched that fucking presentation in 2013. It felt like somebody kicked me right in the balls. I told my Nick and my all buddies, I said, what the fuck did I just watch? They have lost their goddamn mind. And I sat back and I was really not, I'm still, I guess, a console gamer. I dabble in PC gaming, but I drift away from it all the time. I said, well, y'all want to get a PlayStation?
Yeah, and we were like, okay, and off we go. And Cyrus, you're right. If they're not very good with their own store, even on PC, it's kind of a mess. If you actually go in and look at it, it's a mess. And if they can't organize that right, and they can't get the games optimized and running cleanly on that, like my key, and I know I'm in the minority. I love my fighting games, and they brought out Killer Instinct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Killer Instinct. I was trying to use my arcade stick, which was normally for the PS4, but it had a PC mode. So I had it in PC mode, and I was trying to play it off of the Windows Store. Well, the controller wouldn't work, so I went and looked it up. None of the arcade sticks worked on PC on the Windows version. Guess what got fixed the moment it got onto Steam? It works great with the arcade stick. So I spent another $10 to get the entire copy of that thing when it hit Steam because it went on sale. And I've been able to play Killer Instinct with my arcade stick flat out, no problem. So, I mean, if you can't get a fighting game to work with an arcade stick on your own OS, why would I trust you with new games through Game Pass or anything else? I can't. I don't even look at their store anymore.
They're like, this show's Barry Game Brands. We're like, shut your mouth. Man, damn. Oh, this is funny shit right now.
Wow. Retro's like, wait, this isn't Game Ramblings?
Ryan said this started happening before 2013, but people weren't paying attention. Even around 2011, they started calling the 360 an entertainment device. They were. But you got to think about it, that generation was 10-year generation. It was due to the recession and everything else. So yeah, at the end of it, I think that's where they were going. But I wish somebody would have kept going with that and just came out with a powerful console, we would have been a lot better.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just over here wearing my Zelda shirt, watching Nintendo kick everybody's ass right now. Because they ain't doing shit.
I'm just glad I'm not Goose.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not Goose?
No, I'm too fat. I can't be Goose. Oh gosh, it's like a later season of Game Ramblings where Cy didn't renew his contract, was recast. Oh.
So my sire is Mike Sire. Wait a minute, I'm confused.
Shut up, you're Cyrus. You're the new Cyrus. You're screwed. You're the new Cyrus. Damn. Yeah, I'm glad boring. You're
Born, if
right.
we didn't disagree on things, shit would be boring. No joke, man. I
We
don't
have
like
to.
agreeing with everybody on everything. It's just not fun. It's not. It's not conducive to a good conversation. It's just not.
It's like this political crap, and I will not talk about it. But me and my wife talked about it and just disagreed, and they literally they just cut us off, and it was like, grow the fuck up. You're being bitches. Look, I don't like to talk political much or anything, but you got to be able to disagree. It's okay. And what we're talking
Yeah.
about is just stupid video games.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
more important things
uh,
in life than video
oh
games.
God, yes. Oh my God, there's so many more important things going on right now than this. But this is fun to talk about, and it's mostly freaking harmless, right? And we were talking about two consoles that are beating up each other while Nintendo's going, I'm gonna sip my juicy juice over here and wait for you guys to get done and continue to outsell you. So winning. And
Yeah,
that's kind of what they're doing.
yeah. Oh, been following it in. Sour's been following it in for a while. Well, go. Okay, What do you think?
If I disagree with Retro, I'm dead to him.
That's. I'm dead, huh? That's what that smell is. I guess I'm dead.
Pretty much.
Oh, so we have. There was rumors that August 6th, there's going to be Sony's putting out another event. Sony's showing off more shit.
Yeah, they're doing one early August. They had planned to do one after Microsoft. And Born, man, if you get a Series X, man, I want to hear about it. I want to know how it's running and stuff. I will eventually get a Series X. I almost guarantee you at some point I'll probably end up picking one up. No joke.
If I can play the
just
games
don't
on my
think
PC,
it's going to be
I'll just
early,
upgrade my
and I'll
graphics
wait
card.
for it to drop. It depends on how things run on PC. Right? If I can run everything the Series X runs, and it runs just as clean on my PC, with the build that I have now, which I put a lot of money in, I don't know that I would justify
exactly
the next one. And
unless they start dropping.
Go show this comment.
Unless they
there we go. Sorry, I blocked that one, Retro. My bad. I got it. You're good.
Hey, Chaz. See, Born Sony's going to announce games for 4 years ahead. Let's see. Retro bro, I'll get a Series X if it gives blowjobs.
It blocked that one. I got it. We're good.
Woo! I hope Chad says, hope the PS5 Series X type tech is in a mobile form because of Nintendo's next console. I don't think they need. I don't think there's enough reason for them to be worried about Nintendo. They're two different types of they're two different things, man. What I mean, I want to play the Medium. That is a Silent Hill-esque game. It looks fantastic.
That actually looked cool. I gave that one props, and people were bitching about that running at 30 frames a second.
It's running two levels.
It's two different worlds at the same time.
I don't care who you are. You're entering two fucking worlds. If you was running two worlds at 60 frames a second, I don't care. That's a lot of horsepower. They probably take 20 teraflops, literally. And
yeah, I mean, that's actually an impressive feat. When they mentioned that, I'm like, really? Oh, that's dope. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. So that one looked really good. Let's go over some of the games real quick, and then we can go back to just kind of rambling here. So Halo Infinite, we already covered that. I'm hoping that looks better, or they slow that one down and they give 343 some more time.
There's rumors it's going to ship with no multiplayer.
It's not a good idea, but okay. That's not good for them. Fable, I really want to see more of. I don't really know what they were doing with Fable, and my mouse is like all over the screen here. I gotta move this over to
to me, Fable. I mean, Fable looks cool, but if you're going to give me a pre-rendered cutscene and just show funny as shit, the little fairy getting eaten, that's fun. But I want to see what it after the debacle of Halo. What's it going to look like?
I'll be honest. I really do want to see another Fable. I think Fable will be fun. They have never, ever delivered on the promises they've given us with Fable, but Fable has always been fun, regardless. So, I'm interested. Let's see. Everwild. I really want to see more on this. This looks like Rare actually doing what Rare's good at for a change.
It looks weird.
It's shocking. It's different. It's quirky. It's very rare. I like that. I want to see more.
I'm just wondering if I found them putting out a typo or they lied. Because then when I went to make my video, they changed their website. I'm like, that game doesn't need a Series X to run. It really doesn't. But it looks interesting.
And I said the same thing. It doesn't look like it needs a Series X, but it looks fun. It looks like something
Interesting.
I want
Yeah.
interesting and something fun to play.
Hmm.
The next one was that they've got on here is Crossfire. This looked really good.
It did
By
look
the way, the
interesting.
mechanics and everything like that looked really, really good. To me, it looked like a cross between Crisis and like Call of Duty.
And I read that that was actually a PC game converted over, and it's going to be on the Series X and Xbox One. So you don't even have to get a Series X to try it. It looks fun.
Yeah. Forza was actually one of the biggest disappointments, not because it's a racing game, because they did barely showed any racing. They didn't show anything that wasn't just a teaser
Rendered
trailer. It was just
in
a teaser
engine.
trailer. There
They
was
rendered it
nothing.
in engine, but Cyrus is right. What does that mean? Just show the goddamn thing running on a Series X. Oh wait, you can't. I think that's okay. I'm going to say this. I think they have no confidence in their box. I don't even think their dev kit
I
is
don't think they do
100% right
either.
now.
And Retro is completely right. If you just took Halo Infinite and you took Fable and you said these are exclusive to Xbox Series X and you need to buy our console to play these, I'm buying a Series X. Done deal, guys. I got one.
Exactly, but they're
Done
too
deal.
much. They're
I'd
pussies.
buy it. I'd totally buy it.
I would think about it, but I don't. I would think about it. I really, if you said the medium and all these other big games, Series X only. I mean, they
Yeah.
are and add Halo Infinite and actually crank out awesome graphics and all this stuff. Yes. Huh.
And
What?
Chaz is right too that most of these early games won't need the horsepower that they're going to put into it. And that's true in any transition year. You're right,
Mm-hmm.
Chaz. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Any transition year, you don't need this kind of hardware. And most of the stuff is going to be cross-platform or migratable,
No.
so you get a little bit better performance rate, and you'll get a little bit smoother.
For just for,
It'll be a little bit smoother graphically, but
yeah.
it's not going to be game changing, right? The closest thing that's going to be great, it's going to be game changing, is that
It's
Ratchet
a
and Clank game.
it's SSD, but then you
Yeah,
have Miles Morales that the fanboys can bitch at is a PS5 exclusive. It's just PS5. Horizon
but it
Zero
doesn't
Dawn.
necessarily need to be. If you remove some of that clutter they're adding in for realism, it'll run on the PS4.
Probably, yeah, because it is a PS4 game. But I said this, and I had a fanboy get all pissed off about it. Well, it's the same as Halo. No, it's not. They're doing a cheap and dirty of taking a game,
I'm
converting it
sorry.
up, and
Sorry,
making
said
it.
this year's trans.
Ooh,
That's really good. I like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. I couldn't stop laughing. I apologize.
uh, but yeah. I mean, I said it was a quick and dirty way for them to take a PS4 game, crank it up on a PS5, and make it run on a PS5, but at least they're putting something out you want to pick up and say, I need this. That
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank game is going to use that SSD. You can't play that on a PS4.
That right there, I don't think you could make that run clean on a high end PC right now with what they're doing with it. You
No.
need that custom SSD to make that do what that does, and that is the reason I want to pre-order.
Sale.
That's the reason.
That is a reason to buy their system, right? Just like
Yeah.
Halo was a reason you wanted to buy the fucking Xbox OG.
Yeah. So the next one's State of Decay 3.
Man,
Dude, I don't know. I
the
went off on
graphics look
this.
pretty. It looked pretty. If it was rendering on Series X,
no, it's pretty. Dude,
but
you
it's
know
all
me and
pre-rendered
zombie
cutscene.
games.
It's
And
pre-rendered. You can't tell.
I know, but you know me and zombie games and State of Decay's like Last of Us. It's like the other State of Decay games. It reminds me of Days Gone. I'm tired of ramshackle buildings and somebody with a compound bow. Horizon Zero Dawn is the most interesting one that did a concept like that, and that's because you had fucking mecha dinosaurs and shit, you know. And
Retro.
that one had a story. That one apparently has a really good story. At
I
least we're
got
talking to
bored with
retro.
it.
I haven't gotten it yet. I
played
need to play it.
got
I
so
need
far,
to play it.
I got so far and I got bored and I got rid of it. I kind of wish I need to get back and purchase it again because the collector's edition is like $20 or less.
Yeah.
But
Retro, I'm straight up buying a PS5 for Ratchet and Clank as well.
and
No lie.
the Horizon Zero Dawn 2, I even saw a breakdown from Digital Founders, which can do good ones that's not biased. They were like, wow, this thing is ridiculous. Yes, it's pushing it. It's ridiculous. They're putting out system sellers. Microsoft's putting out, if you want to buy, you can, but you can play it over there. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the turnout, by the way, guys. I'm stoked to see this many people showing up in something that I just threw up like 30 minutes ago. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I tweeted it again as well.
And thank you for retweeting it because you get a lot more traction than I do. I know, like the core people that watch these follow me just because I retweet some stuff and try to help out here and there. And you guys are nice enough to watch, my janky stuff. Thank you.
There will be violence there. God, anyway, let's get back to bitching about.
Okie dokie. So Cyrus in a furry outfit with his cat's looking confused is now stuck in my brain. Thanks. I didn't need that.
We were going through the list. We keep getting off the subject.
It's okay. That's what this is for. This is very much like Game Ramblings. Okay. Phantasy Star 2 Online, New Genesis. Okay, I was a little wrong on this and I was a little right. Phantasy Star 2 Online has been out for a while. New Genesis is a new expansion for Phantasy Star Online 2. So technically that was a world first. Technically that was new. The game itself was not new. It's just a new expansion to the same game. So I was right and I was wrong.
But it's not something to buy a Series X for. I was trying to make my point in my video. Show me what.
And that's the same thing. That game looks like a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I may actually grab it and try it because it looks like it's taken MMO mechanics and included some action RPG elements that makes it more dynamic and interesting to play, like Monster Hunter World meets World of Warcraft or something. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. But I mean, again, every time I kept going and putting my Excel down, I was like, "Oh, really?" /1 at /Xbox One. It's like,
yeah.
And then we hit stuff like the medium, and I went, "Oh yes, I want." I actually said that.
And it's next up on our list is the medium.
Fucking rocks. I know it was not gameplay, but I think they were doing some in-engine stuff because it looked more. It didn't look like a cinematic in most of the times. Some of it looked like they were showing how the render was done in engine, and it was gorgeous. And that could sell for horror fans. That'd sell them on a Series X.
Side doesn't come with ray tracing. That gets installed later.
Did you hear that about Halo Infinite?
Yeah, I know. I heard it wasn't going to get shipped with ray tracing from the get-go. I heard that. I think Cyrus mentioned that, actually. I think that's where I heard that. I was watching his breakdown, and that's actually what prompted my breakdown.
How do you cock it up so bad that you're out there yelling 12 teraflops and you can't even put ray tracing on your fucking...
I know, it's weird.
And the fucking big brute, that bastard's face is everywhere. He is a meme all over Twitch or Twitter. I mean,
I can see that, Chaz. I can see not wanting to jump back into an MMO if you just jumped out of it. It's one of the reasons I don't go back to WoW. As much as Classic might be fun, I don't really want to get that bug again if I can help it. I scratched that particular itch with Final Fantasy XIV that I play with friends, but I don't play it nearly as seriously, and I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, we played freaking WoW, and then they finally just kept making it shittier and shittier, and we said, nope, we're done.
Yep.
And I'm not going back to one. I will not go back to one.
Final Fantasy XIV we've been having a lot of fun with me, buddy mine from work, and my wife play it as like a trio, and then we usually bring in like one more to make a full party if we need to do a dungeon. So that's been fun. But the medium, I'm not big into like the horror game thing, but this one looks good. It looks really interesting. It's got a really great atmosphere.
Yeah. And it shows graphics. It shows a true presence of ray tracing and particle effects. It was like, that'll soak you in.
Yeah.
You turn the lights off.
It's got the right atmosphere for that kind of game. And here's one I was kind of excited with. And this is the thing that I've liked about what they brought to the table. And I'm going to give them props on this. They showed us more new IPs, I think, than Sony did. True.
Very true.
And I was very happy with that, actually. And that leads right into the gunk. Cyrus.
Cyrus is now officially retired. Keep the cat to take over.
Cyrus's end game is to just hand me his account and be like, fine, here, I don't want to do this anymore.
No, I have to say, yes, the watching Grounded, which looked like a meh game, but some people thought it would. If you're looking for the biggest game out there, you'll have to wait for Cyberpunk 2077. That was funny as fuck.
I like the idea of Grounded. I want to actually see real gameplay, but I'd like Grounded. Dude, if we could get like me, you, Cyrus, and like Retro to try to play Grounded together and just watch us all kill each other, dude, everybody would freaking queue in on that. That would be just killer. That would be so funny.
But again, we don't have to do anything but use a PC. Well, I wonder if it's cross. I wonder if it's cross play. Oh,
I'm not downloading the furry expansion pack. Sorry, man, I can't do it.
the holding back vomit. Holding back vomit. I can taste that. I taste that. Oh,
But the gunk, this one looked cool.
it
Um,
looked cool. Unfortunately, they couldn't. They're not a Series X seller. But yeah, that's something that I would.
I think that's going to be a sleeper hit, though. I think that's going to
Yeah,
be neat.
but a lot of people that sit there and save their money this year and don't spend it, they're going to be playing on their Xbox One. I'm wondering how many people are going to be this year saying, "I like these new Microsoft games. I'm glad I didn't buy a Series X and waste my money and I bought games." Or I bought Game Pass. If they may say, well, okay, sure, you bought Game Pass. I want to go into all these the Best Buy and I want to take pictures and show how many PS5 boxes are there versus Series X. Because
Yeah.
every time I'm in there, the PlayStation box was about sold out and the Xbox wasn't.
And Chaz, to answer your questions, no, I don't want it even if it's free DLC. And yes, Gunk looks like a lot of fun, and games should be fun. I agree.
Yeah.
And Gunk looks fun. It looks like a new platformer, one that's slightly different. It's not completely reinventing the wheel, but it looks like it's got a neat premise, at least from what little I saw. I want to hear a little bit more about why she's cleaning this up, why is it sentient, that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, I had to
But
read.
it looks neat.
Cyrus said the Cyrus DLC is a free, but it has a virus. Okay, video game virus, we get it. Wah, wah, wah. Good job.
Oh God! What would the equivalent of Red Ring of Death for a PS5 be? Would it be like a
Blue Flash.
magenta streak of death? Is that what it's going to be if it overheats?
To be honest, I don't think either one of these is going to even come close to overheating unless it's because I give Microsoft props. I don't like that tower design.
It's
It's
going to fail.
God, but that entire case is designed for a vortex to pull the heat out. And I know everybody made fun of the design. It's not the prettiest, but that little fan at the top or the
That
side,
thing's so big. Oh my God, it's huge.
yeah.
It's the size of a house. We were
But
streamlining this stuff and it was all getting smaller. And then the PS5 came in and they went, go big or go home.
they flattened it, and that whole funky design is a damn air vent. If you do, excuse me, if you do not give that shit breathing room, that's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the next one. And this one, I just kind of was like, my notes were like, why? Just why? Tetris Effect connected.
Next,
I, I got to rant on this a little bit because
okay,
Tetris Effect is a beautiful VR experience if you guys have not played it. Okay. The environments are gorgeous. You're just sitting there zoning out, zenning to like this beautiful music and this beautiful atmosphere, playing a game of Tetris. And to try to make that like cooperative, which eventually always becomes competitive because there's always that one person, ruins the zen moment of this kind of game, which is kind of like why I was like, why?
yeah.
It's not Tetris Connect. The connected one, I don't think is VR. Tetris Effect was originally launched as a PS VR game, and then you can play it outside of VR as well. But it came to PC, and you can also play it in VR. And some of the effects are like way nicer if you're playing it in VR. Like you can just look around at the sky and everything like that, and all this stuff. And there's a lot of depth to it. It's very pretty. It's very relaxing until it ramps up to 11, and you're like, oh God, how do I fit this? Oh God, it's still Tetris. You know.
Yeah, there was a point where I if I don't spend much this Christmas, hopefully I don't click the pre-buy. I thought about picking up a PlayStation VR, or I thought about picking up when the kid and the daughter wants to try to play some of them, and it's like, you know what, we have the room. I thought about doing it. It's just it costs a little bit of money, but I thought about trying more stuff in VR.
I like my VR headset a little bit. I need more space for it because I've just got this small room that I use it in, and it's not enough room. It really needs a bigger room. And Born, I totally get that VR is not for everybody. It's a very niche market, which is why PlayStation's not really touting it on the 5 right now. They're still going to have the headset, it's still going to work, and they might come out with a second version of it, but they're not really hardcore pushing it because a lot of people they don't handle VR well. And a lot of people that play it just don't like it. They don't want to interact with the game that way. And that's fine. For the most part, I only play like a few minor games on VR, and I really need to dive into it more because I've got an Oculus headset, so I really do need to play it more. And Cyrus's theory is that they want to lower the expectations for future games so that every game looks doggish, so that none can really be that bad.
Cyrus goes, I personally can't wait to play $70 for a Halo game. It looks like a PS2 game. Uh,
Cyrus, you're already paying more for like 16-bit carts, man. If you're really a collector.
he does a lot of emulation too, I think. But I mean, he gets. I mean, he has the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, which they'll hack that and add all the stuff he needs.
Yeah.
But I'm really not looking forward to the new game process either. And if Halo Infinite keeps being shown and has a fun single player, I will buy it and I will play it on my boat anchor VCR Xbox because I want to play a good Halo game.
Yeah.
But I skipped 5 because they basically bastardized the campaign and put a multiplayer game out, and I said I refuse. So
Yeah, and Chaz is kind of right. If they put Halo out on Game Pass, they'll probably just leave it there. Not because I think it's going to be a Fortnite killer. I don't know if I agree with you on that, but it is going to get something that makes people keep the service. Because if you want to play multiplayer on Halo, right, you're going to keep Game Pass because then you don't have to pay for that game, and you get access to other games. So why would you cancel it, right?
yeah,
And
they'll put
particularly if you can do it through cloud, dude. Imagine being stuck in the freaking DMV and you're like freaking playing Halo or something, right? Instead of playing like your little free to play game that keeps asking you for $20 every 5 minutes. I mean, when you think about Ultimate Game Pass, it's actually still compared to most of the free to play crap that you're playing on your phone these days.
yeah. I like to try it again. I played it and I sat there and I got lost sitting there on the couch or sitting there and I had the phone sitting there, the more powerful Android phone we had. And I had my one of the Xbox controllers and I was playing freaking Soul Calibur 6 last year. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, I forgot I'm streaming this shit. And it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to work that great out on the selling networks. It's not. It's just not.
And Born, to answer your question, no, I'm only comparing a lot of this stuff graphically because Xbox seems to want me to compare things graphically because they're touting the most powerful processor, the best graphics, etc. No, it's not about that. Even if they had showed things that where it looked a little bit less graphically intense, I still want to play that new. I still want to play Halo Infinite. As janky as it looked, I still want to play it because it looks fun.
The single player looked fun.
It
It
looks
just
fun. I still want to play it. I even said that in my breakdown after I got done tearing it
Mhm.
apart. I still want to play it. I still want it. I don't want to buy a Series X for it because I don't think I need it for it. But I
No,
still want to play it.
but also if they come out and before it launches says it's going to be a multi-tier, multi-year expansionable thing, and they're going to start charging for it, then I might rethink buying it. I got to see how they're going to sell this. They're going to sell a complete game with a good complete single player and complete, make sure they don't gut the multiplayer and screw over the community. Then I'll buy it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then they'll go, well, here's extra stuff. I'm good. Is it more single player stuff? Nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
No.
And that might be how they do it. So,
And yeah, Microsoft has made it all about fucking graphics. They have whipped her
mm-hmm.
pretty much their digital dick out there and said, looky, 12 teraflops. And Sony has sat back and been quiet and finally just said, this is PlayStation 5. Everything is running on the PS5. Epic came out and said, we plugged in a capture card to our fucking dev kit. Here it is. And it's looking great. So Microsoft can't even run their flagship Halo game on their Series X.
Yeah.
I that just still I say that out loud and makes me think, what the fuck is wrong with this company?
And Born Destiny, I never found fun. Graphically, it's beautiful. The gameplay was great. The game wasn't fun. I didn't have fun with it. We tried both Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and neither were all that fun.
Yeah.
I just didn't have a good time with it. And so I stopped playing it. Graphics didn't matter at that point because I wasn't having fun, even though the shooting mechanics were good.
We beat Destiny. We beat Destiny 1, then we tried Destiny 2, and we was like, oh fuck this, we're done.
I think I actually beat the story in Destiny 2, and I need to look at that boss because I swear the 8 boss that they're using in the new Halo looks a lot like the end boss for Destiny 2, but I need to pull them up side by side and clarify it.
Yeah. Destiny's trying to be a 10-year thing. I remember and now it's just like Halo. I'll see if, as long as they sell and make a complete package single player game and it looks fun, I will go out and just walk out to the store. If it's not sold out, I'll grab it. I'll move my Xbox up here or something. I'm playing upstairs more. We've been moving all our consoles upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll plug up my Xbox and I'll play Halo. But I'll play the single player game unless it has a really nice co-op mode, which I would like to see. Or I would just play it by myself, and then I'll put it down and say, that's a pretty good Halo game. All right, cool. I'm not going into just pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that.
Yeah. And honestly, going back to Bungie and how well they design games, I picked up the Halo collection on PC because I wanted to play it with mouse and keyboard and see if it felt any better. It feels about the same. So that tells you just how tight the controls were for a controller.
Yeah.
If it feels that good on a controller, and I can't tell much difference when I'm playing it on PC, because I could tell a difference between Doom 2016 on PS4 versus my PC.
Oh, I even told that. I even download the demo and jumped on it like, holy shit, this is completely different. But this is new type of Halo is being developed for the PC at the same time. So I bet I saw a lot of things in that demo, him headshotting really, really, really quick and also shooting shooting that brute in the knee. I think that was a lot of precise shit on a keyboard mouse that,
it probably was. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I mean, everybody plays how they want to play. I know people that play on a PC and they use a controller because that's what they like. Right? And I know people that use mouse and keyboard. I prefer mouse and keyboard because that's kind of what I grew up on playing first-person shooters. I got used to analog sticks, but I just find the mouse and keyboard faster for me, right?
Yeah.
That's just me. But I know plenty of people can kick my ass with a freaking controller. It's all up to the player, man, and how good you are with the medium you choose, period, in the story. Yeah. So, and yeah, Chaz, I play fewer games as I get older too, and I try to like cherry pick the ones I really want to invest my time in. And some of the ones that I really want to play, I haven't invested the time in. I've got Final Fantasy VII Remake to play still. I haven't started
I got
yet.
so far in it, and I put it down. I put it down. I put down the Outer Worlds because I got to a point I got kind of stuck or something in, and then I went back and I've been playing other things. I got Final Fantasy VII Remake. I got Outer Worlds, and then I want to buy the Paper Mario game. But I will not buy another game until I get some of this shit knocked out and I beat it.
Paper Mario is going to piss you off. I'll tell you that right now. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like the combat.
I've seen the combat. I may not like it. I may not even get it. I may skip it.
If you want to get a feel for the combat, scan through just one of my streams and watch some of the fighting.
I watched some
before you buy it. Just scan through it. You don't have to watch the whole damn thing. It's like 2.5 hours. It's ridiculous because it was just streaming one night. But it'll get you a feel for the combat, which I think is going to frustrate you. It does me.
Yeah. Like I said, I may not. Yeah, I don't.
Next game on our list, Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. This felt like another zombie game, man.
And
why did you do this with Warhammer 40K? You got fucking orcs and all sorts of cool shit in there, dark elves and fucking crazy sci-fi shit, and you're giving me zombies? I don't understand.
Yeah. Also, it's a console launch thing, exclusive. I looked that up and I did not mark it as an X Series X. I only think because it's not.
Yes, Mike watched it. Thank you, Mike, by the way. It was fun hanging out with you, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool. But, that game they started that toward the end of that show, console launch exclusives, which means they're not they're not exclusives. Yeah. They're just going to get them a timed exclusive. So it's going to PS5. I don't have any need for it. And I don't have anything to say about it. It looked interesting just for a little bit, but I was like,
Well, for those, because I know a lot of people haven't done a lot of Warhammer, and I'll be honest, I haven't really played a lot of Warhammer because I can't afford the miniatures and the space. Mm-hmm. It's a very miniature focused, very space oriented game. You need a lot of room. But the world of Warhammer 40K is crazy. Like, there's all sorts of cool shit in there. And to give us something that's effectively zombies with something where you got all these really crazy factions and species and stuff, and you're going to give me something that looks like zombies, you got to show me more than what you showed me to get me hyped for that game, because I feel like you kind of dropped the ball. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Stalker 2. We hit on this one a little bit earlier. That one's kind of been in development since like 2009, roughly. And it's going to use Unreal Engine 4, it looks like, unless they go through and revamp the engine. At this point, I don't know that they're going to do that. So that's going to be another one of those kind of cross-platform. It'll probably look clean. It felt a lot like State of Decay 3, which felt a lot like Last of Us, which feels a lot like Days Gone. And they all look the same to me, man. I can't.
I can't get into a lot of these games. I've said this. A lot of these games copy Arkham Knight. They copy this hide, move, creep, assassinate, keep moving. I played The Last of Us remaster on my PS4 a couple of years ago. I got like 2/3 of the way through the game and I got so bored with it. I'm like, it's like I'm playing Arkham. I'm so sick of all these big world games or third-person games being sneak, kill, repeat.
And Chaz is in the same boat. He feels like they're all kind of the same too. And I mean, if you started giving me like a lot of different weapons, but every time you show me one of these games, and this is every developer, this isn't on Microsoft, this is like everyone who's done these games, they all fit into the same kind of box, it seems like. You get these ramshackle, like just sheet metal kind of put together like huts everybody's living in, with fires and these big metal trash cans, and somebody's walking through trying to look like a badass with like either a crossbow or a compound bow on their back or something like that, right? It's always the same. It's always the same. Or they're walking through a forest and then they see a zombie or something like that, or a grassy plain or something like that. It's just, it all feels like the exact same setup with nothing really new brought to the table. The only one that brought something new was like Horizon Zero Dawn. It was the only one that looked like it was bringing new shit. In that kind of vein. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was a good game. I just for some reason, I got so damn bored with it. I don't know why. I put it.
And I want to play Ghost of Tsushima just because it looks fun.
Oh God, Ghost
that one looks crazy cool. But I could see, like, I haven't played a lot of those games, so that would be a newer thing for me because I haven't really gotten into the Bloodborne / style series of games, and I totally checked out of Assassin's Creed, because the moment you make me play an Assassin's Creed game and play Assassin's Creed, like Black Flag, I thought was amazing until you made me actually play the Assassin's Creed part of the game. Yeah, and then I got all sad.
Yes. Ghost of Tsushima looks okay. I don't know. It's just one of those games I'm going to wait. I'd love to be able to rent the damn thing and try it, and I may not like it. That's my problem. Yeah.
Destiny 2, Beyond Light.
Blah.
Remastering this is a good idea. Giving you the DLC is a good idea. There may be a hardcore base that calls this a system seller. I don't
it's just like it really just sounds like GTA 5 remastered for PS5. I'm like, you're just pulling an old game, even though GTA is 5.
Dude, that was the confusing thing about their last thing. I sat there going, what are we doing? Why are you talking about GTA 5? Are you hinting GTA 6? Because everybody's going GTA 6 in the chat when I'm watching, and I'm going, really? Are we going with GTA 6 now? That would be interesting.
Remastered. You get $1 million each month until it launches. I'm like,
yeah,
whatever. But then they knocked it out of the park from on out. It was just PS5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Psychonauts 2 looked fantastic.
Looks great. And it's still coming to the PlayStation 4. It's been confirmed. I found a couple of articles that said yes, it's still coming, because they crowdsourced that. They can't fuck over.
I thought when Microsoft bought them that was going to be pretty much the end of that. I thought that was going to get nixed. But that's good.
Push Square article pretty much said no. It's still coming to PlayStation. They couldn't, if they screw people over, they can sue the shit out of them. But you will not see another Psychonauts on a non-Microsoft system now.
You may not see another Psychonauts. Honestly.
Yeah, that took so damn long.
With the way Microsoft does their development studios, you may not see another Psychonauts.
Hey, think about that. That's a Psychonauts 2 is a PS4 game. It means it'll run on PS5. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just poked the fan, boys.
Mm-hmm. So, and yes, Chaz, you're right. The top PS4 games were all basically like hunt kill kind of stealth type games, and the Switch has had a ton of variety. which is why I'm basically just over here kind of chuckling because Nintendo's over here bringing you all sorts of like all their quirky IPs and throwing out new shit like ARMS, which while you may like it and you may not like it, it's definitely new.
Interesting. It's different.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't like. I tried to like it, but then at the end of the day, I didn't. They got tons of shit. And you know which
Hmm.
system I play every single day? I know it's with Animal Crossing and his other stuff.
You're
It's
still playing
my
your
Switch.
Switch, man. It counts. You're playing Animal Crossing, dude. It doesn't matter. You're still
Yeah.
playing it.
But I bought the Ghostbusters remaster game on it. If the technical issues weren't so shitty, I would have bought Outer Worlds on it. But
Yeah.
they really kind of hurt the conversion. But my Switch the new Switch gets announced. I'm gonna lose. That's gonna be I'm gonna be on Amazon. I'm gonna be on Amazon going,
Yeah. Take my money. Shut up and take my
take
money.
my money.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get rid of this. This thing was there was so much hype around this first Switch. I'm not even gonna sell it. I'm gonna trade it in. I'll just put it back in the box, transfer my shit, and be like, give me the fucking Switch too. That's just it.
And you know what? You want to know value for your money? And you guys can laugh at me if you want. Fucking Nintendo's thing. $20 a year and I get access to all those NES and SNES games?
I have this across
Are
three
you kidding
switches,
me?
actually four Switches, and it's $35 a year, and we split it on a couple of households.
Dude, that's a huge value.
Yes,
It's huge.
and if
I
you
mean, just to have access to this, because some of those I never got around to playing. And I'm looking at them going, huh, maybe I'll boot this up today.
yeah, and now they add Donkey Kong Country to the Switch part with a rewind feature when you fuck up. Because
Yeah.
we had that on our Super NES Classic. So yeah,
And Chaz, I can see that. I never really got into Animal Crossing, but if you like really want like a building kind of terraforming, just kind of customized kind of game,
I didn't think I would.
that's a great game for it. It's a
I
great game
didn't
for
think
it.
I would, and I was like, I tried it, and after I was like, I sat there and actually played it for a few hours on off, start my own stuff, and I sat down and handed it back over, and I went, God damn it. Then I started looking, and due to all the COVID crap, everybody bought it up physically.
Hmm.
I just went and bought it digitally, and I've just been playing it like crazy. And I've been playing my Switch, and we crank up this. There's so much stuff we crank up on Switch. We got the kid her own Switch, and she has Just Dance 2020, and she took her allowance and did the yearly $25. It gives her over 500-600 songs, and it streams from the internet. Holy shit, they played the hell out of that. She has friends over and plays the hell out of that. Switches get played.
Hmm.
The PlayStation gets played some, and my Xbox One got turned on so she could play Left 4 Dead with a friend.
Yep, that's fair. And Mike says, switch you.
Switch you, shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Well, you know what? If they bring out the next Switch and they call it the Switch U, that's bad on them again, man. The Wii U was just a bad name convention, and we talked about that back in the day too. I knew it was going to confuse people. You knew it was going to confuse people, and I'll be damned if it didn't confuse people.
Yep, I know.
So the next one is As Dusk Falls. This game pissed me off,
Next.
and this game pissed me off because I could have rendered this in Premiere. If you just handed me the assets, I could have done all this for you in like a day.
And they lied
And
on it.
I'm
They
not even
still,
good at it.
yeah, it's an Xbox One game as well, and they lied flat out, and they still. Wait a minute. Let me look it up before I say they lied. But As Dusk Falls, let's look up the Microsoft site. Yes, it's still coming to Xbox One, but they didn't tell you that. They lied about a fucking slideshow game. They said you need a Series X for that. Next.
Yeah. And Series X is also a stupid name. I agree, Chaz. I
Yeah,
do agree. It's a
just
dumb name. It's a confusing name because every time I start talking about this, I'm like, wait, are we talking about Series S? Are we talking about Series X? Are we talking about the One? Are we talking about the One S? Are we talking about the One X? There's too many three name consoles here. If you give me a numerical number,
PlayStation,
it's a lot
PlayStation 1,
easier to address with
PlayStation
people.
2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation.
Exactly. Exactly.
And no, it's just the same. It was Nintendo or Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, the Wii, the GameCube, the Wii U, the Switch. So they're not as bad, but Sony has been the only consistent one.
Yeah,
But
and
Sega
Chaz, I
looks the same
guarantee you,
too.
people are still going to be confused with the Series X because they're going to see the Series X, they're going to see the Series X, and then they're going to see the Xbox One S, and they're going to get confused between the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series S and the Xbox One X, and it's just going to be fucking just confusion. I guarantee you it's going to cause confusion.
And they're going to sit there and say, what can I play? They're going to pick these games up out there and they go, what can I play this game on? You can play it on any of these. Give me the cheapest one.
Exactly.
People have budgets, folks. People have bills. They have kids. They have things they want to do other than spend. And I still think both these things are going to be $500 boxes.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think we're getting out of this without probably a $500 option and a $600 option is my guess. If we're lucky, if we're not unlucky, it's going to be something like between like 6 and 7.
Yeah.
That's just a guess, but I think it's probably close. The next game is Avowed. I know you're really interested in this one. This one reminded me a lot of Skyrim.
I mean, it was just
when I saw it.
But also they got an exclusive from Obsidian that won't come to the PlayStation. They're going to have their own Obsidian or Bethesda Skyrim. That's a system seller to some people. That is like, holy shit, I want to play a new Obsidian game. It's going to rival or it's going to compete with. They're probably going to wait and compete with Elder Scrolls 6. That's a big.
I don't know. Well, okay. Well, with the way Bethesda's been going, that might be a good idea. If you had mentioned that 2 years ago, I would have been like, that's a terrible idea. Don't do it.
Yeah, but now the Bethesda's are going out. Yeah, they could actually compete.
Yeah. Grounded, which we hit on a little bit, but this one looks like it could be this one looks to me like a fun group game.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want to play this on my own or try to group up with other people that I didn't know, but getting a group of friends together, this looks like it could be a lot of fun. And I thought that when we first saw it, and I didn't get much new out of it this time, which was my only disappointment with it, is that I didn't see anything really new this time that I didn't see last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would love to see Sega come back. I fucking adored my Dreamcast. I never got a Saturn, but I heard nothing but good things about it. I adored my Dreamcast.
They won't come back. They're too far in the software. It'd be nice, but they won't come back. I could see if Microsoft can't do well with the Series X and they just become a game platform, Apple will step in. Guarantee you. They own all the fucking hardware. They own the chips.
Apple's trying to get into it. I think they're trying to.
I think
they've already got their Apple Arcade. I mean,
they're waiting for somebody to trip up and they could push in.
Because that's such an easy market for them because you've already got the box in your house. I know almost everybody's got some form of Apple TV, right? If you own one of the newer Apple TVs, you can already use the arcade. I mean, hell, I've got one that's like a generation just behind this newest one, and it wasn't that expensive. It was sub $200, and that's a great price point to get you in, pop in a controller, and just go.
I mean, Apple owns or is taking all their chips to their own manufacturing, and it's outdoing the Intel chips. So they could definitely go out there, make their own silicone, drop a huge multi-teraflop chip, put their own memory in it, put an SSD, which they've had awesome SSD for a long fucking time. Mm-hmm. And they have all this hardware they make, and then they just drop a console out there with a disk drive. It needs it.
They don't have to drop a console. You've got your Apple TV. You buy a controller and you're done. That's it. They're already there, dude. I'm telling you.
They can't release games that would match PS5 Series X like Call of Duty's on it. They'd have to.
You make a new version of the Apple TV, man, and I bet you they could do it. Even if you made it just close to the level of, like, say, the Switch, which it's already more powerful than the Switch, think about what you could do with it. And if they load a lot of the stuff using some of this cloud mechanism like Microsoft's wanting to do, then it could be delivered there anyway, and it doesn't matter because you're not running a lot of it locally regardless.
Yeah. But you got to
So they partner up with somebody for the cloud space. Yeah. That's it. You're good.
Yeah. Interesting.
Outer Worlds, Peril and Gorgon. This was actually a highlight of the whole show for me because it looked better than half the shit before it. No joke. It looked better. And I was laughing. I was laughing because like half the stuff that they were showing before had worse facial animations, worse trailers, and didn't look like the gameplay didn't look as clean. as this.
Yeah.
It's just DLC.
Yeah. That's why I said Obsidian making their own Skyrim like game. Yeah, it's gonna make bank.
Yep. And micro consoles are kind of like 2013, man. I agree, but you know what? And honestly, I think that's where the paradigm's going to start going. You're going to start seeing people being able to play at things that they already have in their hands, which is why Microsoft wants to become an ecosystem because they want everybody. Not everybody has an Xbox. Pretty much everybody has a cell phone. There's bums here in Colorado that have cell phones. Literally, there's people living on the freaking hobos on the street that have cell phones, but they don't have an Xbox. So, yeah, think about it for a minute.
There's a lot of social commentary I can make there, but I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying it's an actual fact. It's not me being trying to be catty or anything. It's just a legit fact. I've seen it. Ori and the Will-O-Wisp. I never got around to playing this one. It looks cool. I'm glad they're bringing out a new version of it. Nowhere near system seller.
Do you need 120 frames per second version? Really? No. You're just
you know what? If that little bastard isn't like running hyper light speed, then it just ain't worth it to me, man. My soul will be crushed if it's not 120 frames per second.
I sat there and looked at it and seriously thought I'm on watching a console video or game show, and they're not even hitting full 60 on everything again, and they're talking, we're gonna put 120 frames per second on this neat little game. Who cares?
Yeah,
that's just like whatever.
And the last one, and this one, oh my god, this one pissed me off. Tell me why. And my whole response was, tell me why I need to buy this game that looks like I could have played it on my 360.
It looked horrible.
Dude, the facial animations were bad. I saw fucking Borderlands 2 looked better on the 360 than this damn thing did.
Yes, I don't
understand. I'm like, why are you making this one of your blue ribbon event kind of thing? I mean,
it looks like a 360 game.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It could be a lot of fun, but from what I saw, it didn't look that interesting to me personally either. It's very story driven, very just dialogue driven, and that's a game genre that a lot of people are into. I'm not necessarily the type that wants just story-driven content.
No.
So, for me, that's a little, I don't know. So, it's hard to say on that one. But that was pretty much what they covered in the whole thing. So, I mean, what we've got to kind of look at now is, well, what are they really trying to do with this, right? I think they're trying to really move cloud focused. And I've thought this for a while because then they can hit everybody regardless of platform. And it becomes all over the top kind of stuff. And at that point, there's no limit to who they can sell games to.
Yeah. But then
that's what they're thinking past this generation. But they're bringing out a box so that they have something, so you start getting invested in their ecosystem before they just go, well, why do you need even that?
Yeah, and it's just to the point that it's like Microsoft, stop sitting there trying to be a competitor to Sony. Stop trying to be a competitor to this, that, and whatever, and just be honest with who you are. But they don't. They're out there yelling one thing, doing another, blaming people that are successful, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, who have exclusives, and outsell them. I still think the Switch has probably outsold the Xbox One.
I think it's actually outsold the PS4.
No, the PlayStation 4 stuff has hit over 100 million, dude. They are way out in front.
Okay.
Yes, I think Nintendo's second. Nintendo last time it looks at 50 to 60 million.
Dude, value for your money, it's Nintendo hands down right now. And yeah, Chaz, they want people invested in them as a name. They want to push Halo out because they want to get people to buy the new console because people are still fixated on consoles as the market, right? There's still console wars, which is kind of all while we're here talking, right? And they want to get you invested and hooked into their new ecosystem that they have kind of designed. They want to get you trying out their cloud. And then they want you to start thinking, well, I don't really need a console anymore. I mean, I'm already invested in this. I get to play everything. And, That's really
Mhm.
good. I've got all this stuff that I can just play everywhere on anything, and it just transfers from one to the other because it's all stored somewhere else, and I don't need hard drive space. I don't need a super powerful PC. I may need a higher end TV to be able to get the resolution I want, but that's about
Yeah.
it. You know, and that's why they want this box out there right now. They're not really care. They'll push Halo out the door even if it's not ready to get all the fans of Halo to go out and buy the box and start getting hooked on that ecosystem, because now it's very much like if you started with like an Apple phone and you've been with it for like years and years, you don't want to switch to Android necessarily because you've got too much invested in that ecosystem to move away from it effectively.
Right.
You
Or either,
probably could,
yeah.
but it's a pain in the ass. It's a huge pain in the ass.
Right.
And so now you're there.
Yeah.
So
It's just to the point that, you got to figure out, Microsoft needs to figure out where they're going. They need to figure out what they're doing and stop lying to themselves and to everybody else.
yeah. And I mean, if that's what they want, if that's where they want to go, I mean, that's fine. That's great.
And that's
I'm
great,
okay.
but
I'm okay with that.
stop sitting there and yelling power
Yeah.
and teraflops and stuff and bitching about Sony and everybody else having exclusives.
And well, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about the graphics anyway. Just give me the games that I want to be able to play on it and make it compelling for me to buy them. There's a couple on the list that were pretty compelling. Medium was pretty compelling. Psychonauts was really compelling. I thought Gunk looked like a lot of fun. Those were all really good games. Now, did I see more out of Sony's presentation? Yes. I saw more out of Sony's presentation on when to play. Even some of their newer IPs looked almost just as compelling, and they had a lot of their older IPs too. So you had a lot of the stuff that I'm nostalgic for and that I'm looking forward to playing, and you're showing me new gameplay mechanics and new interesting things with those, while you're also showing me like a handful of new titles that I'll
Yeah.
probably also be interested in trying out. And they brought us probably new IPs this past generation than Microsoft did. I can't think of like one new IP that's really stuck this generation from Microsoft. Can you?
I know. I just don't understand. I don't know. I mean, I'm sitting here seeing what you're saying. I mean, there's some good games out there, but even though I saw stuff that was neat, I don't trust Microsoft. Does that make sense? They don't act like they're trying to get my money into the right way. I don't go buy a Series X. I'm pretty much, it'd be hell or high water that I'd buy another Xbox console unless I want to buy a refurbished 360 to keep playing my old 360 games. Um, they Microsoft has made too many bad choices that I can't trust them with anything.
Yeah. And
So
Ryan makes a good point. When you make the world's most powerful console, you kind of set the expectation that the games like Halo will look better than anything on any other console.
and then
It
it
should
comes out
look better than on any other platform. It should
and it
look
looks
better on the Series X and run cleaner on the Series X than it runs on my PC.
at that time, and until the
Yes.
PC tech hardware catches up with the
Yes.
SSD. And yes, they should turn around and be able to run stuff with the velocity architecture and the horsepower underneath it that outdo the PlayStation 5 by a little, but it's still going to outdo it. And they came out and showed a game that really and truthfully, if you backed off some of the lighting and maybe backed off some of the things, maybe not even much, you could have got that thing running on an Xbox One.
Mhm.
Sad.
And Ryan makes another good point here that he doesn't even trust the Microsoft ecosystem. They killed off Mixer without a word. I mean, you buy into them and put everything into them, and a lot of these people, like a lot of these streaming services, like
Ninja, a huge person, and they brought him over there and they just killed it.
yeah, he got paid out his full contract though. Ninja's fine, dude. Don't worry about Ninja. He's good.
But I mean,
I know you were tore up that Ninja lost his platform on Mixer, but he's good. I swear.
but seriously though, it makes you sit there and think he still had to turn around and retool himself and go somewhere else. And it's like, he had to sit there and go, I got the money, but fuck, I was already here. You brought me here and you just ripped out my entire platform.
Dude, I think his first stream on YouTube, he had like 10,000 people watching it immediately. I swear. I think he did. I don't think it was a problem for him. He just, whatever. He didn't want to go back to Twitch because I think they did a bunch of shady shit to him when he left the platform, like putting porn on his channel and stuff like that before it got pulled down. I was like, "We're pulling for you, Ninja." I know, man. It's tough only having 30 million, man. It's just tough. It's just hurts, man. Just hurts.
It hurts, yeah.
And I know that's why a lot of people hate the idea of all digital. But that brings up another dead horse that I beat. But we don't bring it up enough that you don't even own your physical medium, man. I mean, you're buying this game to play it on like your PlayStation 4, and you got the physical disc. That don't mean shit. That doesn't mean anything. You're still connected to a server. You're still downloading like half the game.
Yeah,
A buddy of mine bought Mortal Kombat 10 until he could connect it to the server. He had 2 characters. He brought the XL version. It was supposed to have all the characters unlocked. He had 2 characters, like he had downloaded the demo. It took him hours to fix it. That's the new world we live in. And that game wasn't new.
sad.
That's it. I mean, physical medium is not what you guys think physical medium is anymore.
No.
If you really want physical medium, you need to go back almost pre-360. Because even 360, they were starting to augment these things post-game.
They were trying to. Yeah, at least you could plug in or put in a 360 game and play it.
Yeah.
You still can do that.
But you at least got to go back that way.
And PS4, but now they're just going away.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to start looking at PS3 and 360 and below in order to basically own a physical game. You don't own your physical games. The only reason to do that is so you don't have to load quite as much on your hard drive. And the advantage to going all digital is that you don't have to get up to change the damn disc. And a lot of us are inherently lazy. Like I've transferred over to like mostly digital media. I mean, my iPhone has like pretty much, access to all my movies and has access to all my music now. I don't really buy anything physical on either one of those anymore. I do most of my movie watching is on Netflix and shit like that. So, I mean, the idea of Xbox coming in with this cloud architecture and becoming like the Netflix of video games is not surprising to me.
It's just the streaming. It's just streaming games is a lot more intense, and it's not something that everybody can do with all their internet, especially with the data caps and everything.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's why I still think we're not completely ready for it because of data caps, data rates being what they are. Not everybody's going to get a great experience. Now, from your test, the Xbox Cloud seems to work a lot cleaner than, like, say, Stadia, which was madness.
I never got to test Stadia, but I said X Cloud, or now it's just Xbox Cloud. I forgot I was playing Cloud. I was playing a fucking fighting game, and I was like, holy shit. When I played like one of the Halo games, just dicking around with it, I was like, okay, I'm running through killing shit. I'm like, okay. But I was also on my high speed 5 gigahertz, 200 megabit internet, not on a cellular network. So that's the difference.
Yeah. And physical games that are no longer for sale, if they work offline, that's great. There's games like the DuckTales Remastered that got pulled and finally brought back up because of licensing reasons. If you didn't have a physical copy of that, you couldn't play that. You couldn't download it anymore. Like if I'd removed it off my hard drive, I don't think I could have re-downloaded it. And Chaz, you're right as well. The xCloud is why Microsoft sees Amazon and Google as their biggest competition. Because moving forward, if they're wanting to compete and swing as far as like cloud services go, that is their biggest competition.
Yeah,
no joke. And Sony doesn't have that infrastructure. And if that's the direction it moves, Sony's going to be hurting. Sony will be hurting.
If they see that and take that, the PlayStation 5 generation, they may be letting it ride on this non-streaming generation, and they may turn around and just build it up. Because I played PlayStation Now a couple times. I tried it, and it ran fine. So they have a decent infrastructure. They may not have as much as they need, but they can get there. Yeah.
And if they can do that, then they can keep swinging in that space. And Mike, they actually got the license back. So if I've got that on Steam, so if I uninstall and reinstall it, it'll work just fine. So I wouldn't even be able to test it at this point. It got pulled down for, I want to say, like a couple weeks. It disappeared. And that was like, God, it was like a year ago, I think I did that video almost.
And that's one of those things I've always said. We don't have federal laws, especially in the United States, to protect people and their digital rights. Like, well, we lost the license to it. I don't give a shit. I bought a license to this. You need to give it. I think they ought to back that up. And it's like, okay, fine. We got to pull it from the stores because we don't have the license anymore. But if you sold it to somebody, it's illegally theirs, or refund their full money. But they don't
Yeah.
have those. We don't have those rights and laws to protect us. That's why I don't like digital.
Yeah.
Even though I put that disc in and it spins up and downloads a bunch of shit. Usually when it's done, it's all mine.
Well, and the other reason that they like the cloud service on it is they don't have to worry as much about DRM.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about people cracking it and stuff like that because they don't have physical access to it anywhere, right? It's all running on another server.
Exactly.
It's all external to the customer. So they've got complete control over it at that point. So developers like it because then you can't start breaking the games. And yeah, I think you're right, Chaz. I think you're right on the money, and I've said it myself that any all digital version is going to cost about $100 less than a console with the physical version with physical media. Straight up.
I don't know if it'd be that much, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised because you got to think about just the Ultra 4K disc drive costs some money to put on there, and also they have to have rights. You have to have rights to play digital video discs, DVDs, Blu-rays. There is a license to pay that.
Yeah.
So maybe they would save a little bit more than then interrupt and then go ahead and say, fuck it, we're going to cut it a little bit more to help you out. Maybe. If they came out and PS5 was $3.99 digital, they could kick Microsoft in the ass. Because there's some people like you. Would you buy the all digital PS5?
I want the physical version. And I know you weren't there. I went over this with like Kami inside that one night that I got invited randomly in that thing. I thought we were going to play Overwatch, and then we ended up doing this. But the reason I want the physical version is because, one, if I do decide I want to pick up, like, say, 4K Blu-rays or whatever, I'll be able to play them, right?
And you could put PS4 games you buy cheaply somewhere else and put in there, install and play.
Yes. And on top of that, physical media sales are different than digital media sales.
Yeah, exactly. You get
access to more deals by having access to both.
I think Chaz has a good thing. The Series S probably 300. The PlayStation 5 digital could be 400. I meant to say 400. And the PS5 Series X full blowns would be $500.
And I would like it if the top end ones are 500. I was thinking more like 6 or 7 because of the hardware they're putting in there, because they're still taking a pretty heavy loss. And with the price of games going up and stuff like that, I figured the price of the consoles would have to go up a little bit too, because the numbers that you're throwing out are very similar to the numbers we had last generation.
Yeah.
Like 500 is close to what we had for like the really high end ones last generation. It bombed early on the 600, and then they brought out the Slim for like, I want to say it was like 4, and that's when I bought in.
I think Sony and them are enough that even the One X sold at 500. I think both companies will take a loss and will not sell above $499. If it goes above $499, I'm gonna be fucking shocked.
Yeah,
I really will be shocked. And Sony's big enough. They've sold over 100 million PS4s. They're like, fuck it, $499. What's it going to cost us? Oh well, fuck it. Yeah. Hey, look at these games that only play on PS5. You like it? Boom, baby. And then they're selling it. So
yeah, no, I guess I can see that. And the extra $10 increase on the games, honestly, is not that big of a deal. I brought it up because it's the first. The only reason I brought it up in one of my videos and kind of only in passing is because we've been running at like $60 for new games for a very long time.
Yeah, it's
and the cost of games, the development of them goes up and up every year.
Was it the last one, 2000, not 2013, but the last generation, Xbox 360?
It was like 360 was the last time that they went up, and they went up to 60. And so we've had 360 and we've had the 360 and the Xbox One all set at 60. So we've had about 10 to 12 years of games being the same price.
Mm-hmm. And I made a video on a lot of people thumbs down it, and I'm like, quit your bitching, people. This is costing money. It costs a lot of money.
I don't think it's going to change the way the
Dude, it's
DLC
been
or the monetization
15
works. I
years.
don't think it'll change any of that.
The original Xbox 360 came out in 2005, man. It's been 15 years.
Wow.
And people are bitching about it. I'm not saying oh, thank you, great overlords, for making us pay more. It's just costs more. Get over it. Yes, in my lifetime, me and you get old farts, man. They're gonna be $90. A game's gonna be $90. I know it
Easily.
is.
And Chaz, you're right, and that's one of the reasons I don't really bitch about Nintendo's consoles being a little bit weaker because one, they're making money off the actual console,
And they're cheaper than
and
anybody else.
yeah, and the games are still fun. They're still bringing me experiences that I want to play. The games still look good. They're still fun. They're playing to the strengths of their system and they're playing to the strengths of their IPs rather than just trying to come out with crazy hardware.
Their games constantly make me sit there. I was watching and just looking around Luigi's Mansion 3, and I'm like, this is a fucking Tegra X1, not even a teraflop, and the damn graphics are fucking gorgeous. It's called people that get into their console, learn how to program for it, and stylize and utilize everything. There's some games that have looked so good on, Odyssey. Oh my god, Mario Odyssey looked gorgeous. Yes, it's
Yeah,
cartoony, but man, it had great draw distance. It just ran great. Zelda Breath of the Wild. The only problem it had at first is it's fucking, it's a cross generational game. I hope the next Breath of the Wild they will have to. They've gutted every Wii U bit of code on it and make it customized for that Tegra it's going to run. Because I remember playing, God, the first time I played Breath of the Wild, through first month or so, I went through the rainy section of the Zoras and got my ass handed to me because it's in probably the 20 frame per second. But if they had developed that straight out for the Switch, it'd have been even more. And they got it
you
up
should
to
look up Cyrus's video where he's playing on the Wii U. It looks pretty close, but it's definitely a little slower. And Chaz, yeah, dude, if I come out of a game because I'm big into fighting games and stuff like that too. So if I get out of a game for $90, I'm happy. No shit, because by the time you get done buying season passes and crap like that, you're looking at like 150, which is why I don't like series games. That's why what was it um crap. Let me look at the name of it again. I want to say it was this not As Dust Falls, but it was Tell Me Why is a series game. And I was already annoyed at it when they told me it was a series game because the moment you do over 3 in a series and you're charging me $20 for like one chapter, right, which is the going rate usually on average, you already got me at an $80 game.
right. And Cyrus,
Already.
I would pay it. I'd rather pay extra $10. That means the games devs didn't push designs it so they would that it pushed design the game so that it pushed and encouraged microtransactions and DLC.
That's not going to
DLC
happen.
DLC. Well, they're going to still do it, but
Mhm.
I think they'll be able to do microtransactions. Will be for a lot of devs if they get that extra $10 a pop. They may just put like cosmetic stuff. Because I remember back in the 360 day when they started having DLC, I'm like, guys, this is the future, man. We can update our console games, and DLC was completely optional. It wasn't gutted out from the game. Borderlands 2 had all those DLCs, and it was just true add-on shit.
Yeah, now, I'm an advocate for DLC when the DLC brings me new content. If you're
Yeah,
going to bring me new content that you develop after the game launches,
not that you gut it out.
right, I'm good with that. I like that.
Yeah,
Now, and that's one of the reasons I don't mind it for fighting games. If you're going to bring me like 7 to 10 new characters or 6 or 8 new characters that you develop over a year and you're going to give me those in a season and I want to play those, I'll support that. Because then I have more characters and that gives me more life on the game that I've already bought. So I'm already invested in it. I want to play the new characters. I want to play this new content. So I'll pay for that. Now, if you took what was originally supposed to be like a 35 player roster and you cut it down to 12 and then you sell the rest to it as DLC just locked
yeah,
behind a microtransaction, then fuck you. But
exactly.
that's not how it works for the most part now. It did right around the PS3 eras. Capcom was the worst about doing it. They would already have all those characters made on the disc, but they would have them locked until you paid them money for a season pass.
Yeah, and I think, and like I said, I wish they would make that illegal. If you buy even a digital game and a code has it, you should not be able to have to be paid charged twice, and that is charging you twice for
Yeah.
it. So
And I'm losing some of the chat moment, too.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, if you're like adding costumes and stuff like that, if you want to pay like a couple bucks, like if you're going to charge me like $2 for a costume and I like the costume, that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's cosmetic. If I want it, that's fine.
but don't charge more
But
like a dollar or two. There was this gun you were talking about, and that fucking
$100. Oh, they topped that. They've got one for 300 now.
they're fucking. They can go suck. They can go fucking.
$300 for cosmetics. It's just cosmetic.
No, damn, we've been streaming for an hour and 45 minutes.
We have been, and people have dug it. I kind of keep talking because everybody keeps talking. Everybody seems to be having a good time with it, so I just kind of kept going. I mean, I'm kind of letting them direct the conversation because I kind of went through everything that I had to babble about. So now I'm just kind of
Like,
letting them
holy
do it.
shit, it's 10:45. Holy crap.
Well, you can stop it anytime you want because I know you've got to. I know it's way later for you than it is for me.
It's probably what?
For me, it's not 9 o'clock yet.
Yeah, it's nearly 11. So I'm going to have to cut it
Yeah.
off here and chill out with the wife just a little bit before we hit the bed, because if I don't, it's getting late. I said, Retro Bro, he wants to do something to 10 tomorrow. I'm like, I'll be able to do an hour or so, but I'm not wanting to push it to 12 because I know, fortunately, I know all you guys are in these weird time zones. I'm only one of the
They're
guys.
not weird time zones. They're just different time zones. Not everybody's East Coast, man.
Well, it's weird that I'm the only weirdo that's in the East Coast. Everybody else is in the middle of the, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I want to do this more often, man, when you've got time. Because every time we've done this, everybody's enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed it. The crowd's enjoyed it. So, Jess is like, we'll let you go, maybe.
Oh, you got the creepy Biden grip on me. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not political. That guy's creepy as fuck. I don't care who you are. He's just creepy.
Chaz is East Coast. He's in Michigan. He's still up. What?
Yeah, I don't know what we'll be doing Retro Road tomorrow, but watch it. It's 10 p.m. I think he said 10 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't. Is he still in here?
If he sets it up early, I'll try to set myself a reminder. That way, I make sure to attend.
I don't think he's in here. I don't know if he's still watching, but he's not in the chat. So yeah,
a lot of people have been kind of bouncing in and out. I've seen the numbers kind of jump up and down. So I think they're like, are they still talking?
Yeah. I guess we can cut it here because I got to get out. I think I got to take the garbage down and do things like that before we lay down.
All right, man. I'll let you go. Everybody, thank you very much for showing out. Shout out to Cyrus, Chaz, Ryan, Retro Bro, Mike, Bourne. Who am I missing?
Bourne.
Yui, I think Uwe showed up. He's one of my guys that showed up. I don't know how long he was in here.
I think that's about it. We had a
did we hit everybody? Chat. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for showing up. I'd like to do these more regularly. I like doing these talks. I'm going to try to do some game streaming and stuff too. If you guys want to just chill out and hang out and just shoot the shit. I don't really care about the game, what I'm playing. I just kind of want to hang out and get to know the community and have some fun. So that's kind of what those are about whenever I do those. So
Phil Spencer was not here.
I would have loved it if Phil had showed up. That would have been awesome. Oh man.
Yeah, I tell you to go fuck himself.
I wouldn't. I don't have anything against Phil. I don't have anything against Xbox. I want them to make up the run what they want to do and then commit to it.
When he whines about exclusives on consoles and blames people for you shouldn't be able to do that, yeah, I have a problem with him. Not personally as a person. He's just a bad car salesman. And Mark Cerny's just he's a bad car salesman too. He's been caught lying too. They all want our money. That's all it is.
Of course they want our money, man. Everybody wants your money, man. You have money, they like money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to have me money, I'll take your money. It's fine.
No, I'll give you Monopoly money.
I mean, instead of buying a PS5, you can give it to me and I'll buy a PS5. It's okay.
No.
I'm good with it. Yeah, I agree, Chaz. It was supposed to be huge, but I gotta let Picky go, man. Chaz is solo trying to keep you here.
All right, man. I'll stay up a little later tomorrow, but I am tired of. So
he's like a groundhog that's also named Phil. He only comes out if he doesn't see a shadow or ray tracing.
Phil is scared of ray tracing.
That's good. Oh, I like that. Oh
I
God, I'm
think I'm
looking at
going
the
to take
stream
a.
and my
I'm going
face
to take.
went purple.
Well, I'm going to take what's his name? The big the famous woodchucker, not woodchuck. God, uh, groundhog.
Groundhog. Yeah.
Groundhog that sits there and sees his shadow. I'm going to put Phil's
Mm-hmm.
face on it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Do that for like your next recording. It'll be great.
No, I'm just
All
going
right,
to put
man.
that out there, and I'm going to tag everybody on Twitter and said Phil didn't see ray trace. Phil saw ray tracing, so he's going to go back in his hole for 6 more months.
6 more months of not showing us new IPs.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, guys. Thank you again for showing up. It was awesome. You guys have a great night, and I'll catch you guys later. We're out.